Joining us now exclusively on News Nation is Deana Martin, a talented singer in her own right and the daughter of the great Dean Martin. So wonderful to see you, Deana. You were family friends with Mr. Bennett. What was your last interaction with him, and what will you miss the most?
Actually, I'm trying to remember what the last one was, but it goes back so many years. I remember going, well, he was a close family friend, and I remember going to the Dean Martin show when he was on the Dean Martin show, and we'd go down there, and he was just so much fun. But years after that, in fact, Tony had his daughter Joanna, same year that I had our son Mickey, and that's when we lived in New York, and we would always stroll Central Park pushing our kids together. It was so great to be with him. There was something so amazing about Tony. He had such a nice way about him. And come to think of it, one of my favorite times was in Las Vegas, and it was 1979. And Tony said, you know what, I'd like, because he was an incredible artist, he said, I'd like to paint a painting of you. And it's hanging here in my office. I guess you can't see the head, but I sat there and he painted this beautiful, fabulous picture of me. And, I've kept it with me forever. But whenever I look at it, I remember all the incredible times that we had together and just watching him with my dad. But when I believe, my husband and I went to see him with Lady Gaga, which was absolutely spectacular. But he was always this kind, smart, intelligent guy who had a great sense of humor. And, my dad, of course, loved him. And to see Dean Martin and Tony Bennett singing together was always a special treat. And then years later, when I was, watching my dad, and he'd say, I love Tony Bennett. And I would sing his song, I left my heart in San Francisco. Oh, wait, no, that's wrong. But my dad and Tony had such a love for the Great American Songbook. And they're just, two legends. And it just saddens me that we've lost, one of my dearest, greatest old friends.
That friendship was so special, and I can only imagine how magical it was to see them both in person performing. What was unique about their connection?
Well, first of all, I think they were very close. Tony was a little younger than my dad. And, so dad was like the big brother. But they were both such incredible singers, and they had such talent. But there was a charisma about the two of them. First of all, my dad always made everybody feel comfortable on his TV show or, on stage, whatever. But there was something about Dad and Tony that just clicked. And it was, maybe just knowing that they were, they were cool and everybody loved them. Men wanted to be just like them both, and women wanted to be with them. But there was just something that, je ne sais quoi, that they just had it together, and they just adored each other. It kind of reminds me of Vic Damone, when Vic Damone told me that he and Dad were, the cool ones. They were the cute ones. And so Tony Bennett was also one of the cute ones in that same fabulous era of the Great American Songbook. And there was just something about the two of them, my dad and Uncle Tony. It was just, spectacular. And you could feel it when you were around them.
I believe it. Certainly, absolutely shaped music for a generation and generations to come. Deana Martin, thank you so much for joining us. We are so sorry for your loss.
Thank you very much. It's, thank you for doing this. He deserves every bit of praise and love that he gave all of us for all those years. So thank you for doing this.
It is our honor and pleasure.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.